it is a, what did it call it? A moss rib fake polo, it's called. It's not, it's a moss rib Dickie, isn't it? We all know it's a Dickie. We can't shy away from it, Stylecraft, it's a Dickie. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly, also known as RowRow and Kades, and this is episode 49 of my knitting and designing podcast based from the northeast of England. Yes, it is England, where I talk about everything I've been knitting on and working on over the last 2 weeks. Welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here. There's lots and lots of new people, and it's really nice to see all the new faces and things. So I'm going to crack straight on. Even though I've blocked off my window, the sun is really going in and out of clouds at the minute. It's really bright, so I will keep lightening up and darkening down again until it just passes that window. It's just a dodgy time of day, unfortunately. So I'm going to crack on with my first finished object, which is actually something you haven't even seen me cast on since the last episode. I hadn't cast it on then. I've cast it on and finished them over the last 2 weeks. And I love them. So this is my first ever vanilla sock for me. So I'll show you them first. So this is the Nutcracker sock. I'll explain why in a minute. So I have knitted one pair of vanilla socks before, which was for my partner Terry, but he's got size 11 feet, and I knitted them in vanilla for him, and I was so bored by the end of them that I was like, oh. So after that I knitted him a pair of double ribbed socks, but I think I'm missing a trick. I think I need to stick to vanilla, but use like a self-striping, because I've really enjoyed working on these, and his was it did change colour, but it wasn't often enough to keep me entertained. So yeah, I think I need to stick to self-striping proper like this. But so this is the new West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, which I was kindly gifted by them. This is the Nutcracker colourway, and it's full of sparkles. I don't know how much you can see in the ball there. Its colour is, so it's called Nutcracker. It's the West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply sparkle, and the colour number is 1166. I think there's a fault through my number, so I'm pretty sure that's 66. I'll show you. It could be 88, but I think it's 66. But it's called Nutcracker. It's their new Christmas colourway. It's so lovely. I love signature 4-ply anyway. It's such a workhorse, and such, I mean, look, I've finished my pair of socks, and I've still got all of this. I could do myself a pair of socks, and I think my son wants a pair of socks out of it, who's 7. I can probably do that as well, which I need to get them cast on. So I didn't follow a pattern. I cast on 64 stitches, did a twisted rib, and then I just knitted until I was happy, and did a heel flap and gusset, the foot until it fit, and then the toe, the arc cuff down socks. This is a mini that I just found, which looks identical to that, but it's not. It is slightly different, but you'd need to be very close to see the difference, and if you're that close to my feet, I obviously like you, because I'm not a fan of feet. That's the wrong bag, hang on. They were living in my beautiful Christmas bag by Bellica Yarns. I love that bag. It's just, I just love it. I say it's a Christmas bag, but I think I'll be using it all year round because I just love it. This is the mini I found. My cat's stealing things off my table. So this is, last year I won a winter solstice advent from Botanical Yarn, and this is one of the minis out of that. So that's the mini in these. It's not exact, but it's not far off. In certain light it looks exact, so I'm happy. So yeah, I have cast them on and finished. Cuff down vanilla socks. I am a definite vanilla sock convert. As long as it's self-striping, I will be doing more, which you will see when we get to the acquisitions at the end. But yeah, so that is my Nutcracker socks done. And I need to cast a pair on for my youngest 7-year-old because I've got hair on my lip, I'm sorry. Because as soon as he seen them, he seen me knitting them and he went, oh my god, they're all sparkly. And I went, yeah. And he went, oh. And I went, do you want me to make you a pair? And he went, yeah. So I need to get them cast on. As soon as. Today I'm drinking apple strudel tea by Bird and Blend. I've got a ton of Bird and Blend ton of Bird and Blend tea because I used to subscribe to them and get tea every month, but I wasn't drinking it. So I cancelled my subscription and now I just need to get rid of all the tea. There's nothing wrong with their subscription. It's nothing like that. I didn't have the contraption, shall we say, to be able to drink tea properly, like loose leaf tea. Now I have a good contraption. I'll show you my contraption. I asked Fran from Franny Do Makes, I said, where did you get your tea? What are they even called? I asked her the correct term. I can't remember what they're called now. Let's call it a tea contraption. So I asked her where she got a tea contraption from. She told me, she sent me the link. I think mine is slightly different to hers, but this is so much better because you basically put it on top of your teapot, put your tea inside there, pour the water in, wait for it to stew, and then it sits on its lid so that you can just have it on the table. I think the thing I had before was like a teapot, and you had to wait for it to strain. And it would be straining in the kitchen and I'd be in the living room and I'd forget all about it. By the time I'd remember, it was freezing and I was just wasting tea, so that's why I stopped. But now I've got this, I tend to be drinking more tea, so I might start my subscription up again, but I need to get rid of loads of tea first. Right, I'll shut up about tea because we're here for knitting. I can see my cat being naughty in the cupboard, and I think my other one's at the back door, so just bear with me while I let him back in if he's there. Come on then. Oh, I would show him to you, but he doesn't like being picked up. And he would just attack me, and it wouldn't be fun. He has a funny meow, you probably heard it as he came in. And his name is Mr. Pickle. Right, it's very, very windy today. I think that's why he's come back in. He's only just gone out. So, works in progress. Let's get on with them. So my first one is the Too Socksy Socks. I'm going to show you that. So the Too Socksy Socks is a cal run by me and Jane Burns of Jane Burns Designs for our EweKnitty podcast. And it ends on the 26th of November and there's a big prize that you can win if you finish your Too Socksy Socks and tag us in your pictures. There's a whole thing about it in episode 7 of the EweKnitty podcast, so head over and have a look. I have finished one of my Too Socksy Socks. So these socks are like, they have a central double decrease running up the middle. If you can see that, yeah. And then eyelets down each side. They're on both sides. Oh, that light is annoying me. So eyelets down both sides, central double decrease down the middle. The pattern is cuff down, but they're very, very easy to adapt as a toe-up pattern. I have knitted them in a yarn that I needed to review also for a EweKnitty podcast, so this was also gifted. This is King Cole's Norse sock. It's a new yarn by King Cole. I've got the Borr colourway, B-O-R-R, and they're all based on Nordic, like I think there's one called Thorn, there's one called Odin, like the ones that you know. And then this one's Borr, and there's a few others as well, and they're all self-striping, but it's not like striping like the Nutcracker, it's like a different type of striping, as you can see on this one. Now I'm not going to review the yarn and tell you anything about it because I'm not allowed, I have to do that on the EweKnitty podcast, but I will say that I do like it. It's what's the word I'm not, it feels a little bit rustic. It's like, it's got that kind of like, I want to say like a manly feeling yarn. Do you know what I mean? It's like a little bit rough, but it's not, I like it. I think it'll make really good socks. Obviously I haven't worn them yet, I'm still working on my other one, so I don't know how it wears, but I think they'll make, I think this yarn will make really good socks, like long lasting. That's as much as you're getting out of me because I need to do it properly on EweKnitty. My cuffs, heels and toes were done in leftover yarn from my, sorry I've got an awful cough, I'm going to cut the coughing out. From my shawlography shawl that I did a couple of years ago. It is cloud spun. I did this last week, didn't I? I didn't have it written down and I've forgotten. Cloud spun. I can't remember, but it's discontinued anyway. You can't get it anymore. It's a 4-ply yarn. It's I think it's cloud spun superwash or something like that. I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen. You know I will. It's a merino and nylon blend, I think. Superwash merino and nylon blend. It does feel kind of rough, like this does. Yeah, it kind of matched, and it matches the colours, obviously. I'll show you it in a ball, because I have the little ball. So it's this stuff. Yeah, this is all I've got left of this one as well. It's a really lovely yarn, and I'm quite sad that it's discontinued. I only ever used it that once, and I would have used it again, but maybe it's people like me who only ever used it once and that's why it's discontinued. I don't know. I have cast on my second Too Socksy sock, but I'm being controversial and doing this one toe up just for a bit of a change, and also because I kind of wanted that in the sock. If you do it cuff down, the yarn points towards you, like points up. See, points up. And if you do it toe up, then it points down. It like points to the direction you've knitted them in, which I kind of like. So I kind of wanted them odd, so that's what I'm going to do. So I cast on the toe up version, and yeah, I haven't done very much because I've been working on my Nutcracker socks. I'm knitting these on my trusty Prims, my ergonomic Prims. If you're a regular podcast viewer, you'll remember me getting these. They are plastic. It says they're carbon. They're really smooth. The cable has no memory. I love them. These are 2.5mm, which I'll put the US on the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got a funny little tip, I don't know if you can see that. But I really want more. I absolutely love them needles. They're just so nice and smooth to knit with. And I would never have thought, oh, plastic needles. But I do, I really like them. So that's my Too Socksy socks. They're living in my project bag from Songbird Handmade, which I've had a few years now. It's one of my favourites. It's even been in the wash a couple of times because it gets a bit grubby with it being white. Yeah, that's my Too Socksy socks. So my other two things I've been working on are like, one is brand new, one is an old thing that had kind of been pushed to the back because I've been busy with other things. but it's getting nippy outside, and I thought, you know what, I need to get them done. So I've been working on my Catskill Fingerless mittens by Tozzi. Now I did have one finished, so they're just a really basic fingerless glove, but I just love them. So this is it on. So you can see like the zigzagging. Obviously it's the same on this side. They're just a nice length, and yeah, just keep your hands warm. Like they're more like they're not going to be deep winter gloves. Do you know what I mean? You've got a lot of your hands showing still, but they will do for me at this sort of time of year. So I've nearly finished my other one. I've done the thumb. Oh, there it is. Couldn't find it then. I've done the thumb, so I've just got a couple more bits, couple more repeats. I think it's 2 repeats, and then the ribbon. So I'm not far off being finished. I am knitting these in the yarn that was gifted to me from Tozzi, because she's my lovely friend, which was Malabrigo Rios. And it's in the, oh, someone told me, well, I think it was Matthew, Fairy Godfather, he told me how this was pronounced, and now I can't remember. But I'm sure he told me that it was Spanish for fog. Now I might be making that up, but I don't think I am. I'm sure that's what he told me. So that's what I'm knitting them in anyway. It is stunning. I love Malabrigo Rios. You cannot go wrong with Malabrigo Rios. It's just such a stunning yarn. And Amanda gifted this to me, this yarn, for my birthday. So this is the colour. It's just beautiful. It's not a normal colour that I would go for. I don't really go for beige and things, but although I am starting to. But I really love it. I really love it. It's just dead warming. It's like a walnutty colour, and I just really like it. So that is my Catskill fingerless gloves. They will most definitely be finished by the next time you see me, because I literally have an hour's work on them at the most to do. And I've got all of this left. So I might make myself a headband or something with it, because I don't think it's enough for a hat, but it should be enough for a headband. These are living in a project bag that I made myself a long time ago. It's a bit rubbish, but it does the job. So yeah, I'm not the best sewer in the world. I'll stick to knitting. Right, just have a slurp of tea. I don't know if you could hear that wind howling outside. The sun is so bright as well. I don't know what's going on. Right. The last thing I have is something that I cast on last night, because I was frightened I didn't have anything to show you, and also because I really needed to get it cast on. It's not for me. It is a request from my mother-in-law. Now, I don't normally take requests for knitting, and I don't really knit for other people, but my mother-in-law asked me a couple of months ago if she basically described, she said she has a really poorly neck. She has the discs in the back of her neck have crumbled away, so she gets a really sore neck, and obviously the colder months make that 1,000 times worse. So she asked me if I could make her something that would go around her neck, but that would tuck in, she said. You know, one of them things that tuck in, which us knitters, most of us know, is a Dickie. And I was, God, this is awful. It's because of EweKnitty podcast though. I've been gifted again the Batik Swirl by Stylecraft. So they gifted me this to review, which I've already reviewed over on the EweKnitty podcast. I really like this yarn. It's you can tell it's acrylic, don't get me wrong, but it does have some wool in. It's 80% acrylic, 80% premium acrylic and 20% wool. You can tell, but it's also nice. I do like it. And I wanted something like that for her so she could just throw it in the wash as well. Now, the Batik Swirl, I will show you the packet because it's open, comes with a pattern for a Dickie. So, who am I to argue? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it wants to be a Dickie already. So, that is what I've done. So, you get a 200 gram ball, which is 550 metres. I'm not sure of the cost. You would have to look for your country in particular. It's a double knitting yarn. And what colour did I get? Oh, there, Lily Pond. Lily Pond shade 3779. So it's kind of like pinks and purples and white. Then you sometimes get this green, very rarely. It does show you on the packet how it knits up. So, like I said, this was gifted to me from Stylecraft. I'm so sorry, for a review for the EweKnitty podcast, which I have done. And now I've cast on the Dickie that's on the back. So I haven't done that much, but this took me an hour maybe? 45 minutes? About 45 minutes last night. And this is what I did. So it is a, what did it call it? A moss rib fake polo it's called. It's not, it's a moss rib Dickie, isn't it? We all know it's a Dickie. We can't shy away from it, Stylecraft, it's a Dickie. So a moss rib, that's what this is. You basically knit 3 purl one and then you do it on the opposite side, but you kind of alternate. So I don't know if I can show you. So down the centre of each one is the rib of another. Does that, can you see that? But anyway, it's a nice pattern and I like the colours. So I have to do this for 30 centimetres, which is pretty much 12 inches. And then I start the polar neck bit. I've never knitted a Dickie before. But yes, I will do that for her. She loves purple as well. So it's ideal. It is ideal. My cat's rummaging in the cupboard. And she shouldn't be in there. Oi! Psst, psst. Theon. Theon. Psst, psst. She's very naughty. Anyway, I am knitting these on the KnitPro Mindful needles. So if you are a regular viewer, you will know that at Yarndale I bought 2. They are there. I bought 2 of these. So I got the KnitPro swivel cable in the Mindful collection. I got 80 centimetre ones, which is 32 inches. And the swivel at the ends, basically. So I got these with the idea to knit socks with them. And then once I went round Yarndale, I realised that nobody sold KnitPro tips for socks, like interchangeable. And I've since looked into it, and KnitPro don't go any lower than a 3, I think, a 3mm, which is a US, what would that be, a 4? Would it be a 4? Might be less than that, I'll put it on the screen. It's less than that, it's definitely less than that. 3, oh shut up. Anyway, they don't go lower than that. So I was really disappointed and I didn't know what to do with my swivel cables. Anyway, I went to the Harrogate Knitting and Stitching show last weekend and decided, do you know what, just get a 4mm and a 3.75mm tip because they will get used on jumpers and tees and things like that, and shawls and stuff. So I did. So this is actually knitted on a 4mm. This is my new tip that I got from Harrogate Knitting and Stitching Show, which is the mindful tip as well, because I wanted to give that a go. And they do just, I don't know whether you can tell on camera, but they do basically just turn, and that's not coming undone or anything. It's just, they just swivel, so you don't get a tangle of your cable. It's my first time using them last night. I was worried that they were a little bit grippy, especially for metal needles, but they're actually really lovely. This one has the measurement on. I don't know if you can see that. This is 4mm US 6, and then this one, oh hang on, oh they do, they both have the same. They both have the same. So if the measurement on one side, and then on the other side, these ones say Dream. Can you see that? Now I bought the 4mm, which was them, but I also got, oh they're here, the 3.75mm, and on the 3.75 it says Create. No, it's not going to focus. So yes, I have a Dickie on the needles. It is, I think it will grow quite fast, and it's living in another project bag that I made that doesn't even have a drawstring on it, because I did a rubbish job of making the little pockets for the drawstring. So I'm gonna just put a press stud in it, I think, so I can just fasten it like that, because it hasn't got any fastening at all. And I have a rat bag kitten who will steal everything that she can. Right, so there we go. My top keeps falling off, I do apologise. That's it for my what I've been working on and everything. But I do have some acquisitions to share with you. There's not a lot, but if you would like to see them. But yes, if you're not interested in acquisitions, then thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. If you are interested in acquisitions, then I am about to show you. There's not loads and loads. I didn't go mental at Harrogate Knitting and Stitching Show like I do at Yarndale. For Yarndale I normally save up, whereas Harrogate Knitting and Stitching was more like just going and experiencing it and seeing what it was like, because I'd heard a lot about it but never been. I did have plans for things in mind, and I got those plans, and then one purchase was an impulse purchase, so I will show you what I got. So the first plan was, if you remember last week, I was talking to you about Rowan's cardigan and how he'd said, oh it's itchy, it's itchy. And I know Rowan, he will not wear that cardigan if I knit it again. He's just going to tell me that it's itchy, and he's not going to want to wear it. He has a few other cardigans that have been knitted in wool, and he has never put them on. But he has one cardigan that's been knitted in acrylic, and he loves it, and he wants to wear it all the time. Granted, it's a dinosaur cardigan, and the others are not anything remotely like a dinosaur or things, but this has spiders on, so he's going to like that about it. So I decided at Harrogate Knitting and Stitching Show I was going to get a replacement for that yarn. I will have the Drops Lima in the rust colour, and I'll use it for something for me. And I needed a rust colour that was in acrylic. And I really thought I would struggle, but I actually didn't. And I ended up getting this Wendy Supreme DK. Now this is rust, but it's probably going to blow out like crazy. Oh, that's not too bad. It's a little bit darker than that in reality. Although I say that sometimes, and then when I go to editing, it looks exact. So this is 100% premium acrylic, and it's 295 meters, which is 322 yards. And it's the cinnamon colourway, which is shade WD25. That's blowing out now because of the sun. But it's really soft, and I think it's going to be great. So I got 4 balls of that, which is not that orange. Oh, there. That's what it's like now. Now the sun's ruined it. But I got 4 balls of that. Yeah, and that was planned. So I was really happy that I found them. Well, it was Jane who found them actually. Jane Burns found them for me. She was with me. She went, "Oh, you want rust? Look at this." And I was like, "That's perfect." The other thing I went looking for was the vintage tinsel colourway by West Yorkshire Spinners, Signature 4-ply. I love the vintage tinsel colourway. The first time I seen it was on the Potter and Bloom podcast. She's not podcasting anymore. And I really miss her. But Emma from Potter and Bloom knitted some vintage tinsel socks, and that was the first time I seen it, and I fell in love with it then. However, I've seen it loads of times online to buy or in yarn shows right in front of me, and I don't pick it up. And I think it's because I've always thought, well, I don't want to knit vanilla socks. But since I've knit the Nutcracker socks, I'm like, ooh. And the first one I wanted was vintage tinsel. So I bought this. It's not as red as that. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it anyway. Vintage tinsel is 1051, the shade colour. Oh, it's just so sparkly. It's more, I always think of it as purple. It's really purpley. I really love it. So I finally bit the bullet and bought some of that, because I pick it up every time I'm at a yarn show and go, oh, I love that colour. And then I just put it back down and I'm like, what are you doing? So obviously this is the ball that was meant to be mine. It's just been waiting for me for years. So there we go. And then my impulse buy. Oh, actually no. So that was planned. Vintage tinsel was planned. The rust acrylic was planned. I didn't know what acrylic I would get, but that was planned. And I also planned to get the tips, the mindful tips, a 4mm and 3.75mm. So obviously the 4mm is being used on the Dickie, and 3.75mm is here. So those were planned. But an impulse buy was when I bought the vintage tinsel, and this was sitting next to it, which is the Silent Night colourway, and I was just like, oh, look how beautiful that is. So that also fell in my basket. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I love it. So that was it though. That's all I bought. I think I did quite well. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to look around really. I wasn't really buying. I wasn't in a buying mood, which is a bit mad. But I just wasn't. And it is Christmas coming, and I can't really afford to splurge that much, to be fair. So, yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is another acquisition, and this was from Little Icac, which is another podcaster, Amanda from Derby. I love her podcast and I always watch her, and when I can, I sometimes fall behind, but I do watch her, and she has been doing November vlogs. So she's been doing a vlog every day in November, and during like the beginning, she'd asked for inspiration photos for her to dye some yarn, and it was inspiration for winter. And I sent her 2 photos. I'll pop the 2 photos up so you can see the 2 I sent. And she put the purple and grey one in the Frosty Berries one. She put that into the final 3, and it won the vote, and so she dyed yarn based on that, and I won the skein of yarn, where it's actually a sock set. I won the sock set, and then she sold them in a shop with a lovely little Santa stitch marker, and I got all of it. I got sent the whole package, and I'm absolutely over the moon, and it is so stunning. She offered me either her luxury base or a sparkle base. I obviously went for sparkle because it's Christmas yarn. It's got to be sparkly, hasn't it? So this is Frosted Berries. Can you see the sparkle? Oh, it's so pretty. And this is the mini that goes with. That's blowing out a little bit. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at them. And then she sent me this gorgeous Father Christmas stitch marker as well. And she also sent me some Super Berries tea. Oh, I was absolutely over the moon. So I'm really, really pleased with that. And that is probably going to be my Christmas Eve cast on, I would have thought. Although, I am thinking of doing something sooner with it. And also because I can't resist and I want to cast it on. But also because I've bought the Die Shacks Christmas Eve cast on box because I couldn't resist her imagery, that blue and purple, and I was just like, oh, that looks like it's a bit of me. So I ended up getting that as well. So now I am umming and ahhing a fair bit about doing Vlogmas this year. I didn't do it last year, and the year before I was struck down with COVID during it, and it was the most boring Vlogmas because I couldn't go out or do anything. I kind of half want to do Vlogmas. Carla from Sew Knit Create Repeat is like trying to twist my arm to get me to do it. I feel like there's a couple of reasons why I'm like, oh, should I really do it? One, I feel like it's going to be boring because I pretty much just sit and work on a computer doing video editing for most days these days. Or I'm out shopping, like for food, or you know, running errands for the kids or whatever. So I feel like it might be a bit boring. But also, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with it, and that's what's concerning me. If I suddenly just drop off because I can't keep up with it. I don't want to do, maybe. I was thinking maybe do weekly vlogs, but then they might be too long and people might not want to bother watching them because they've got all the little 20-minute vlogs. I don't know. I can't decide what to do. Let me know what you would like to see. And if that's no Vlogmas, please, then just let me know. I will do a majority vote. Yeah, I kind of half want to do it, and I've got a few Christmas plans to do with the kids and stuff, so it would be nice. But I'm just a bit like, am I going to be able to keep up with that? It's 24 days of constant camera work and editing, and I have a lot of other things to edit too. But yeah. We will see. We will see. It might be alright. Anyway, that is me done. My tea's gone cold again. That's what happened last time. I'm going to shoot off, and I've got some editing to do, funnily enough. I'm editing an interview with me, Jane and the Winnick mum, the sock extraordinaire. And she was absolutely lovely. We interviewed her last Monday. Today's Thursday. Yes, we interviewed her on Monday, and she was just so nice, so nice. So yes, that is coming up on the EweKnitty podcast on the 5th of December. So head on over for that if you love the Winnick mum. And there's also a prize draw in there as well. So I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye. See you soon.